Back in the early 2000s, it felt like everyone reading a paperback was suddenly an amateur art historian. Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code sent millions of people down a rabbit hole of religious conspiracy and hidden symbols. Fast forward 22 years. Brown's newest novel, The Secret of Secrets, hits the shelves and shoots straight to the top of the bestseller lists. Robert Langdon has pivoted from chasing holy grails to navigating the corridors of modern intelligence agencies. This story targets the frontiers of human consciousness and what happens to the mind right before death. The massive sales numbers prove the author's name still draws a crowd. Yet the audience picking up this book lives in a completely different information landscape than the one that existed 2 decades ago. The plot moves at the expected breakneck pace. Langdon is hunted through the streets of Prague by a mud-caked assassin straight out of Jewish folklore called the Golem, while trying to expose a shadowy CIA bunker codenamed Threshold. Readers and critics are heavily divided. Online communities and reviewers are calling the story all shine, no substance, criticizing the recycled chase sequences and questioning the core premise driving the plot. Strip away the assassins and the secret bases, and you are left with some massive claims about the biology of the human brain. We need to find out if any of this holds up to actual scientific scrutiny. A modern mystery novel lives or dies based on whether its central puzzle can survive a quick search engine query from a skeptical reader. The entire narrative hinges on a claim made by the character Catherine Solomon. She states that when levels of the neurotransmitter GABA drop in the brain, human consciousness expands, supposedly enabling abilities like telepathy and remote viewing. Looking at actual neuroscience, that gets things exactly backward. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. Its actual job is to mute neurons, making them less likely to fire, which produces a calming effect on your nervous system. We also have to consider the default mode network, or DMN, the brain network responsible for your internal monologue and anxious overthinking. To successfully quiet the DMN, your brain requires an increase in GABA. So when GABA levels plummet, as they do in the novel, you don't achieve a heightened telepathic state. Instead, you experience severe insomnia, depression, and get trapped in a spiral of negative self-talk. The specific biological mechanism the book uses to expand human potential is, in clinical reality, the exact recipe for a debilitating panic attack. Just when you might write off the premise, the story introduces the very real Institute of Noetic Sciences. The Institute of Noetic Sciences was founded in 1973 by Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell. On his journey back from the moon, Mitchell experienced a profound sense of universal interconnectedness that drove his research. In Chapter 8 of the novel, researchers claim the human body physiologically reacts to unpredictable events before the conscious mind can even register them. This chart shows the real, documented phenomenon known as presentiment. In peer-reviewed lab studies, human heart rates and pupil dilation consistently shift milliseconds before a computer randomly selects and displays an emotional image on a screen. The irony here is thick. The author invented a medically backward theory about neurotransmitters, while the documented, peer-reviewed anomalies of human consciousness were already strange and compelling enough on their own. Zooming out from the science, we can see exactly why this specific style of conspiracy thriller is struggling to connect with readers today. 20 years ago, a dense web of historical and scientific claims was difficult to verify. Today, audiences navigate an environment defined by instant information access and a heavy dose of cultural skepticism. The immersive illusion breaks the moment a reader pulls out their phone. In 10 seconds, they can search for the effects of low GABA and discover the core plot device driving the entire narrative is medically false. Relying on the obscurity of fringe science to build high stakes doesn't work anymore. The modern audience is fully equipped to audit the author's homework while they read. By attempting to twist deep consciousness research into a massive, shadowy government plot, the novel actually undermines the quiet reality of the science it's trying to highlight. The actual methodical work being done on presentiment and the collective unconscious is fascinating. It doesn't require Hollywood explosions or subterranean assassin chases to inspire awe. The ultimate takeaway from The Secret of Secrets is that reality itself is simply outgrowing our need for manufactured conspiracies.